this is the instructions for the first EnergyPlus homework. On the VLab, you can go to EnergyPlus V8-9-programs and then EP launch. You're going to want to browse for the weather file that will be provided. And you also want to use the IDF you created in the previous SketchUp homework. And then I think also one will be provided that would have like the same outputs that you should have just in case. And then also this Excel spreadsheet will be provided as well, which is basically all the inputs that you'll need to do. The first thing you want to do is kind of like view options, miscellaneous, and then make sure this is checked. It's not checked by default. This is just changes your outputs to be in Fahrenheit, like inch-pound units. So if you are getting something like Celsius, then this is why it's not checked. So we're going to go here to Edit IDF Editor. We're going to go to View inch-pound. That's basically for materials, because we're going to be inputting everything in IP units. So what we're going to do here is basically anything. We're going to go like page by page, and we're going to have to either like alter or add depending on what you're going to do. I might color code this to make it easier. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the site. So just click on it, and then we're going to alter this. So that's just for like solar calculations. So next one is design day. So that's here. So we're going to have to create an object for that. So for this video, there's a kind of a lot of just data entry. So I'm not going to do all data entries, just because that would make the video needlessly long. But in general, you're going to need to input as many as you see. So there's 2 here, materials, I think there's 9, constructions 2. This one is kind of a little bit tricky, we'll get to that, and then output variables are 2. So it's like not a lot, but it would just make the video kind of long if I did all of it. But just know that you will have to kind of input that. That being said, sometimes when you create a new object, some things will already be added, and then this is laid out in the exact same way as this, so like line by line. So you can like pretty much just copy things over if you want to. Yeah, you can change names if you want to, but sometimes EnergyPlus is kind of weird because it has to be exactly the same for some things if it has to reference it somewhere else. And also it gets kind of weird with spaces. You can see your summer design day has no spaces. Like if you were to type summer space design space day, then it wouldn't work. It would just be an error. So if there's like a drop down menu, you usually want to pick one from the drop down menu. It makes it a lot easier. If it's for a number, it'll just give you some bounds. So numbers you're probably gonna have to input yourself. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. So I can not make data entry errors. Yeah, so then change this one. Yeah, so, and then you'd have to make another one for the winter design day. So once we have done those 2, we'll go over to materials, and I'll probably just enter 2 of them for the sake of being simplistic. So like again, when you make a new object, these like thermal, solar, and visible absorbances will be there. The thing about so they're all the same. I would recommend for this part keeping the titles the same, the name system, because you're going to need to reference them in the next tab for constructions. Again, with like the medium rough all being one word, and then just kind of entering these values. Yeah, so there's one. I'll do another one, just put on the list. Very, very rough. Yeah, so again, you do that for all of these. They're each in their own little cubby. So, and then they're all listed here. So the next step would be go to constructions, which is right here. New object. So, because I didn't make all of them, like I'm not gonna be able to like list them all. But I would definitely pick them from here. That way, if you made like a typing mistake somewhere, it wouldn't matter because you can just find like, okay, that's CMU, brick, air gap, stuff like that. Stuff like that. And then I'll also do the exterior roof, because that's for the next one. I'm just picking, ones at random. You would need to put it in this order. And these are the same materials from over here. So everything in here comes from here. So now that we've done those two, we're going to go to Building Surface Detailed, which is right here. So this is kind of tricky. This can cause some problems, and I'll show you how to deal with problems on this page. So what you want to do is you want to find surfaces that say wall, and you want to change that to exterior wall. So I'll just make that. I'll probably make everything you need to change green. But you want to say, so it has outdoors. So only change construction name of surfaces to have wall or roof as surface type, and outdoors as outside boundary condition. So outside boundary condition ground, so don't change it. Outdoors wall, so we're going to change this to exterior wall. So outdoors wall, exterior wall. Yeah, so this is the issue. So you see here, outside boundary condition surface. So we don't want to change that because this is interior wall. If we change the interior wall, you're going to get an error because the construction has to be mirrored on the other side if it has to match for a surface. So we're only changing that. And then there's also a difference between roof and ceiling. So you see here ceiling, interior ceiling, because that matches to a floor. A roof has an outside boundary condition. So basically anything that has the outside boundary condition is what you want to change. So I'm going to change this to exterior roof. And there will be two roofs because each zone has its own roof. So there, at this point we would save, and then we would go and simulate it. And then as long as you see this date progression, you're fine. It's running. It's gonna say that it crashed. It didn't crash. It's just a weird thing with VLab. So now that I showed you what happened, I'm gonna show you how to solve for errors. So I'm gonna change this interior floor to exterior wall, just to show you what happens. So I'm gonna simulate it. You see, I'll do this and it'll spin by real quick and then crash. So if you go here to errors, you're gonna get a lot of warnings. They're not, important, but you're gonna get this thing that says severe, and then it'll tell you what the problem is. So it'll say get surface data construction interior ceiling of interior zone surface 14 does not have the same material in reverse order as construction exterior wall on surface 23. So there's your problem. So it tells you where it is. So it's on here. And then surface 23 has the incorrect thing, so it needs to be interior wall, just like it was save, and then that's it. So the last part of this is output variables. That's all the way at the bottom. If so, this is blank. If this is blank, make sure that this is here. This output variable directory, it should be there, and it should be fine. But basically, if it crashes, oh heck, you're not gonna be able to do the report. So, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So it was missing a variable name, so it should run now. No, okay. That's right, interior ceiling. So Control and L will bring you back to where you were. So I was at surface 23. Yes, okay. That's interior floor. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so now we're good. So I'm going to expand it out with Control and L on the keyboard. Yeah, it crashed, whatever. So that's not, again, it's not really a crash, it's just a thing with VLab. So now if you go here on the drop down menu, there'll actually be outputs, because it needs to run to know what outputs are available. So we're just going to do site outdoor air dry bulb temperature, and then we're going to do zone median temperature. So if you just start typing it, it'll bring it into where you want to go. So yeah, zone main air temperature. So then we're going to save, simulate it one more time. And then we're going to go here to variables. And then, so this is where we're getting. And then this will also be in Fahrenheit. So if this is in Celsius, you haven't done that very first thing on the AP launch. And then this is what you're going to submit, just this Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, and that'll be it for the first recording.